And I think a lot of people here are just still trying to process just really what happened. As Brian Shaw mentioned, Kobe sort of got around a little bit by helicopter. He lived in Newport Beach, which is down in Orange County, and with LA traffic, it will take you forever to travel anywhere north. So that was convenient for him. It wasn't rare for him to take a helicopter to games at Staples Center. But again, people here are still, like we're all in a state of shock. And we're just not sure how to process it.
No, completely understandable. And I want to get to your earlier point about just how beloved Kobe Bryant was in Los Angeles. Obviously, it's a Laker town. Clippers even acknowledge that. And just from covering the league over the last, whatever it's been for me, decade and a half plus, there is a loyalty to Kobe Bryant among his fans that is just unparalleled to me in anything I've ever covered sports-wise.
Hey!
Look, he's an all-time great. There's no debate about that. Everyone's going to have their own rankings on where Kobe Bryant should land in terms of all-time great NBA players. But his fans are unrelenting in their belief that he is the absolute best, and there's no talking them out of it. Can you describe the sort of, again, I hate to go back to the word loyalty, but the loyalty that accompanies their allegiance to Kobe Bryant?
Well, not only loyalty, I think the word is worship.
Yes.
Kobe was worshipped here. Again, he came along at the right time. He sort of took the baton from Michael Jordan. I think he saw the popularity of the NBA start to soar. The Lakers were obviously high profile. He had those championships with Shaq, and Shaq left, Kobe stayed. So there was some loyalty there. They saw him go through some tough times after that, and then get back basically to the winner's circle a few years later. So I think because of that continuity with the Lakers and the fact that the fans sort of stuck with this through thick and thin, I think that's where the bond began. And you even heard some rumblings from LeBron James came here that that loyalty was still to Kobe Bryant. It was a hard shift to LeBron James. Only because, again, basketball fans here from a certain age, in their 20s and 30s, that's who they knew. They didn't know Jerry West. They didn't really know Magic Johnson and Showtime. They didn't know Will Chamberlain. They knew Kobe Bryant. And so basketball fans here attached themselves to Kobe, and we were not disappointed.
Probably too early to ask you or for the Lakers to have formulated any sort of a plan, but they are scheduled to play Tuesday night at home against the LA Clippers, a game of some significance, although it takes on a whole different tenor now. Is there any sense within the organization of what they might do about that game in terms of treatment and tone, or I assume it'll be played at this point because we're playing in Denver this afternoon, but any sense of what might happen Tuesday night?
Well, under the assumption that the game will be played, and we haven't heard anything otherwise from the NBA office, I would imagine it's basically going to be a tribute to Kobe Bryant, as it should be. There's nothing scheduled. Usually, the day before a game, there's probably a practice scheduled, but again, we haven't heard anything from the Lakers. I really think they're trying to process it all themselves. And how they will go about from here honoring Kobe Bryant, recognizing Kobe Bryant, and also understanding that there are some games to be played. But I do expect that will be a very emotional night Tuesday. Everybody will be in mourning. There's no other way to describe it. Everyone will be in mourning. And again, but how that happens, what will take place before the game, halftime, during the game, we just don't know yet.
Yeah, I asked because that's what we do, Sean, as you know, but I'm sure the Lakers have no idea at this point and are still trying to figure it out. There are a lot of longtime employees there who were there throughout Kobe Bryant's Hall of Fame career. Sean Powell with us from NBA.com outside the Lakers practice facility in El Segundo, and we appreciate it, Sean. Give us a call back if you have any updates.
Anytime, guys.
All right. To Sean's point, I talked about the sort of fervor with which Kobe's fans worshipped him. I mean, you can have all the numbers debates you wanted to with fans about this player or this player, but the folks in Kobe's corner weren't going to hear any of that. There was no logic played no part in any argument. Metrics played no part in any argument. Kobe was their guy. But I guess the question for you, having been around LA as long as you were, is where does he rank in a town full of celebrities and obviously great sports history as well? How many people there are more popular than Kobe Bryant?
I don't know that there is anyone more popular. I think, Magic Johnson said a couple of years ago that he said himself that Kobe is the greatest Laker. I always looked at Magic as the greatest Laker, having grown up on him. And, but for him to even say that and recognize the love and the obsession that Kobe's fans had with him in LA. And having been in, last year, being on the coaching staff in LA, when LeBron arrived to LA, Kobe's fans made it very evident that Kobe was still the man in LA, and made LeBron's arrival somewhat tumultuous.
There was some upset that the Lakers were bringing in LeBron James simply because he presented a rival to Kobe Bryant's legacy.
Well, not only that, but just and as great as a player as LeBron is, just the difference in their mentality as well. LeBron is a guy who he has a lot of friends around the league. He hangs out with guys on opposing teams. During the season, goes to get dinner with his buddies on other teams after games and things like that. Kobe was not doing any of that. He didn't have any friends when it came to basketball. If you weren't on his team, then you weren't with him, you were against him. And so he had no interest in being buddy-buddy with anybody else. Because you were competing against him and trying to achieve and accomplish what he wanted to achieve and accomplish. And to him, you were in his way. And even when he went to play for the U.S. team in the Olympics, in the summer games, he didn't look at those situations, even in all-star games, like he still competed at a